Hi, Darin Mangum here, securities lawyer with the law firm of Mangum and Associates. I just finished up recording another session of the PPM Attorney Capital Forum, where I'm the host. If you don't know what that is, check it out in the links or in the description below. Today's I want to just hop on and just give you my feedback on. Last night I kind of binge watched that Netflix special on Bernie Madoff. I think it's called Madoff, the Monster of Wall Street. That's a Netflix series that goes over the Ponzi scheme and the of Bernie Madoff, one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history. I definitely think if you are if you're in the investment world or you're running a private fund, you definitely need to watch that. I mean, you sort of need to take a shower afterward. It's just so I mean, it just shows you how bad things can be as far as how somebody could kind of perpetuate a fraud for so long and really fool some of the biggest investors in the world and for so long, and it just certainly it's probably obviously it's an extreme example of what not to do. A lot of people I don't think most people that get caught up either investing in a Ponzi scheme or themselves becoming a Ponzi scheme, I don't think they really oftentimes set out with that initial intention. But, depending on how you feel about Bernie Madoff and, maybe he planned it all along. But anyway, what we've seen in, I would definitely recommend watching it. It's probably not a date night type movie or something like that. But and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but definitely just the sheer size and numbers of people. I think he had at one point 150 people working on perpetuating the fraud for, they said the firm was insolvent back in around 1998 or 2000, and I don't think he got busted until, it's been a couple of years ago now, but at least 10, 15 years or 15 years after that. But anyway, what we see sometimes in our practice is that sometimes people they'll box themselves into a corner when they're offering a certain fixed rate of return with the promise of certain payouts on a regular basis, and that's fine and dandy if you in fact do sustain those kinds of profits and losses. What we see, again, this is not often the case, but we see legitimate fund managers, legitimate operators, or even just plain old companies that have promised a certain rate of return, and that inadvertently, because they get all of a sudden stuck with a cash flow problem, and they don't want to go and face the investor. Number one, they don't have an escape hatch in either the PPM documents or the partnership documents that would enable the principal or the general partner to forego payments because of market conditions, because of available cash or whatever, and so they don't have an option. If they had that option, and so maybe if they have that option, they don't want to exercise it. They don't want to lose face with the investors. And so they'll just okay, well, I've got this additional capital coming in from other investors. I'll just use that temporarily to make this payment out to my old investors, so I don't have to be embarrassed and face the fire with them, because that's obviously an uncomfortable conversation to have. Is like, hey, I know we promised to pay you this. We're legally obligated to pay you this, but we just don't have it right now, right? That's uncomfortable. Nobody wants to have that conversation. But better to have that conversation, be straight up and honest with your investor, and explain why. Obviously, maybe it's the market, maybe maybe we need to renegotiate those terms, whatever it is. Better to do that than say, oh, I'll rob Peter over here to pay Paul, and then hopefully catch everything up later. Because again, we've had clients in the past that have found themselves inadvertently in that situation, and then they can't stop. Right? It's like addiction. You do it once, and okay, well that worked. We're never going to do that again. But then maybe next quarter comes around, I got to make this payment obligation now, and I've got this new money coming in, maybe from another investor, that I'm going to use to pay that out, right? And that's your classic example of a Ponzi, where you're really not generating profits. You're not paying the investor a share of returns. You're just paying them somebody else's money, and you're making a representation that you're making money, and you're not. You just don't want to go there, because that's not only ethically not dishonest, but it's also securities fraud, and it rises to the level of criminal fraud, right? So why is Bernie Madoff I think he's in jail for I think 175 years, something like that was the sentence that he ultimately got. Anyway, bottom line, don't run a Ponzi scheme intentionally or otherwise, right? And if you find yourself in a position where you've made obligations to the investor, and you find yourself stuck, certainly you can possibly negotiate your way out of it. There's always a way, right, to do it legally and honestly, right? So anyway, if we could help you with that, we're certainly available as Securities Mangum and Associates. If you like this content, if this is helpful for you, please feel to like and share and subscribe. Click the little bell to get notifications. We're trying to put these videos out on a more frequent basis. And obviously, if you want to dive deeper anytime, you could go to ppmattorneycapitalforum.com and check out that that forum. It dives deeper into a lot of the topics that I cover on this free YouTube channel, and the forum is a very affordable, either monthly or quarterly or annual subscription, just to get access to that more detailed knowledge. And obviously, if you need actual legal advice, we're certainly available to help at Mangum Law, the Mangum and Associates. You can check us out at mangumlaw.net. And anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.